Hello.
Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. It is a happy Monday indeed, except for Terry Moran.
That's true. He's not happy this morning.
He's in a bit of trouble over a tweet that he posted over the weekend. Can you read this ridiculous tweet that he posted and then immediately deleted within just a couple of hours?
I can. He did immediate regrets. Couldn't have happened. I'm sorry. The thing about Stephen Miller is not that he is the brains behind Trumpism. Yes, he is one of the people who conceptualizes the impulses of the Trumpist movement and translates them into policy. But that's not what's interesting about Miller. It's not brains, it's bile. Yikes. Miller is a man who is richly endowed with the capacity for hatred. He is a world-class hater. Oh my God. You can see this just by looking at him, because you can see that his hatreds, like plural, are his spiritual nourishment. He eats his hate. Trump is a
psycho.
I know.
God.
He eats up. Trump is a world-class hater, but his hatred only is a means to an end. And that end is his own glorification. That's his spiritual nourishment, as if he understands him spiritually.
Was he drunk? I mean, this was at midnight. He posted this around midnight on Saturday, I guess.
Which gives you insight into this guy's psyche. Like, these guys are living in rent-free in his brain.
I mean, this is an ABC journalist.
Yeah. TDS and wokeness are like in the same disease category now. It's really worrisome about these seriously. And like, he's talking about hatred and talking about their hatred, but yet this is talk about projection, right?
And why all of a sudden at midnight would he be deciding and thinking about writing about Stephen Miller? This was on a Saturday night
Saturday night at midnight, right? Is that what it is? What are you guys doing at Saturday night on midnight? Are you thinking about?
He was drunk.
I mean, listen. Do you think?
I don't know. I just don't. What else explains this kind of weird behavior? You know what I mean?
Well, TDS.
Yeah, I guess TDS.
I think TDS explains it, but this is like a case study in it, I think.
Oh, totally.
It's an absolute case study. And people who have TDS so hard that on Saturday night at midnight, this is what they're thinking about rather than doing something fun.
And then what do you think made him then delete it? Because that's even more interesting, right? He posts it, and then I don't know what he was expecting, but he didn't get what he expected, and so then he deleted it. And
probably
so I don't
the backlash that would
I don't know. I don't know if it was like I don't know what goes through somebody that infected with TDS. I don't know what goes through their head. I cannot begin to imagine it. But JD Vance noticed it, and he said an ABC journalist, Terry Moran, posted this absolutely vile smear of Stephen Miller. It is dripping with hatred. Remember that every time you watch ABC's coverage of the Trump administration. As it happens, I know Stephen quite well, and he's motivated by love of country. He's motivated by a fear that people like Terry Moran make rules that normal Americans have to follow, but well-connected people don't. It's why he fought so hard to get Trump elected and why he works so hard to implement the agenda. ABC should apologize to Stephen. What Terry posted is disgraceful.
It really is. It's insight into our media. It's insight into like the decay of the brain that TDS is. It's insight into Democrats, liberals. It's gross. It's really gross.
Well, and Stephen Miller obviously saw it, and he also responded saying the most important fact about Terry's full public meltdown is what it shows about the corporate press in America. For decades, the privileged anchors and reporters narrating and gatekeeping our society have been radicals adopting a journalist's pose. Terry pulled off his mask.
I love that so much.
Isn't that perfect?
Yeah. He pulled off his mask and then he's like, oh shit, I got to put it back on.
Right. I forgot I'm journalisming.
I got to hurry and put it back on. It's off, dude. We see it. It's off. We see who you are.
And surprisingly, ABC took a stand and they suspended him. So I don't know how long the suspension will last, but the fact that he has been suspended, I think is kind of amazing.
It's probably like a suspension with pay though, and he'll come right back. I mean, it's just like, think about what you've done. He'll just think about
in the corner.
Right. He'll just think about Stephen Miller and Donald Trump even more. This is the thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when government workers get slapped on the wrist and then they're sent home with pay.
Right.
Like, is it really punishing them? Because they're getting a vacation. He's probably getting a nice vacation right now. So anyway, you guys, are you ready for beach season? Are you ready for all that? I know. Did you know My Pillow has beach towels? They do. They're
awesome.
They really are. They're just like their other towels. They're very thirsty. They're really, really good. They're awesome. Visit mypillow.com/chicks. Use promo code chicks at checkout. You can save money. Get them. Money. They're awesome. Also, check out all of our socials, www.chicksontheright.com/links. Find us there. You can look at all those places that you can like follow us, see what's happening. We post a lot of stuff in a lot of places every single day. So definitely check us out on all of our socials. And then also please click subscribe. Please just click that button. We would really appreciate it if you did that for our podcast. Thank you.
I know I said I was ready for beach season, but actually I'm just going to be holed up in recovery. So I guess I'm not really ready for beach season.
A week from today.
If I weren't, I would have all the towels at the beach because I do have all the towels and I would be going to the beach.
You guys, it's a week from today. She has her knee surgery. A week from today. It's happening. It's happening.
All right, let's get into the things and the stuff. Obviously, we're going to talk about the riots in California. We will get to that. There's plenty of stories around that to cover. But first, there's a couple of little international headlines that we need to address. The first being that Mohammad Sinwar, Hamas leader, was responsible for the deaths of countless civilians, and he was eliminated on May 13th. This we already knew. However, what we're now finding out is that all the stories about the tunnels that Hamas builds under public locations like schools and hospitals. Now we actually have video of the tunnel under the European hospital in a Palestinian city. And it's how he hid himself and where he was living, essentially. And so this video is pretty remarkable. You'll see the hospital right next to it, right there.
Oh my God.
And there's the hole to the tunnel. I mean, this,
wow.
Look at that.
It's so intricate. It's like, and imagine the money that they spend on this stuff.
Right.
And they could be making that place beautiful. I think we said it last week.
Yeah.
Think of how beautiful that place could be and how awesome it could be, but they spend it all on terror and on these tunnels and on all the stuff everything they do to perpetuate terror. That's what they spend the money on.
That's what they care about. They don't give a crap about the civilian population. And yet the entire rest of the world expects us to just not take care of the people living under the tunnels. Sorry, that's where they live. That's where they're going to get blasted.
They're tunnel people. Like
they are. They're tunnel people.
What in the world? They're terrorist tunnel people.
Yeah.
Ew.
Now, I know this shouldn't make me happy, but it accidentally does. So apparently, according to open source intel, the IDF discovered Sinwar's body in his bed in that tunnel, and he likely died from suffocation because apparently Israel is able to use vacuum bombs and bunker penetrating munitions that take all the oxygen out of the tunnels, essentially suffocating anyone who survives their initial strike. So according to open source intel, they say there's a good possibility that his death was slow and very painful.
Oh, well then karma's real, you guys.
Should I not be happy about that? Because I am.
He's a terrorist. I don't give a crap.
There was a perfect cartoon that was floating around Twitter about this. So Gaza, what the moms that send their boys off to fight say, "May you die a martyr," where Israel moms say, "Come back safe, my son."
Yeah.
That's the difference. That is the difference between these people.
Yep. 100%.
And unfortunately, Theo Von is one of the people that's sort of fallen into the Tucker Candace line of thinking. And JD Vance was on Theo Von's show that was released, I think, later on Friday. And Theo Von had already said like a week, 2 weeks ago, he had said something about how what Israel is doing in Palestine is a genocide. He's picked up on that language. And he said as much to JD Vance, who tried gently to talk some sense into him. And he's very gentle about it. I don't know how effective he was, but he tried.
Yeah, he was. And I think Theo is probably, he's been in situations where people have talked to him and said, this is what you should probably think about this.
Right.
And so he thinks that way about it. Now, if somebody like JD can get to him and say, okay, here's maybe another perspective that you should think about, he may change his mind.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know that it was particularly effective because JD is so gentle and sort of measured. But perhaps it helped. Maybe at least it made Theo think. We'll see. In the meantime, I think we talked about, maybe we didn't, but I feel like I've been seeing, and maybe we just didn't talk about it on the show, or maybe we did and I have menopause and don't remember. But this whole ridiculous boat that is the sailboat that's on its way to Gaza that has Greta Thunberg on it and a bunch of other yes, the Maldine or whatever it is, Madeline.
When you say flotilla, I feel like that's something that you eat in a restaurant,
like a Mexican restaurant.
Right. I'll have the flotilla and with extra queso. Thanks. Like what? It just sounds weird, doesn't it?
It does sound like that.
Flotilla special. It's $19.99 today.
And forever, like I kept seeing, okay, they're going to Gaza. They're taking humanitarian aid. The boat is big enough to hold like enough food for those clowns to eat, not to go provide aid to millions of people. But this is what they were doing. It's all for show. They were basically like, let's do this for the gram, essentially. And it was taking them forever. I was like, they keep talking about going. Why aren't they actually gonna go? Just go already and be done with it. Well, they were nearing Gaza, and Israel Ministry of Defense was like, we're not allowing them to land. That's freaking crazy. They will be arrested, and their whatever humanitarian aid they do have will be dispersed appropriately through the appropriate humanitarian aid channels. And these clowns are going to get shipped back to their home countries, wherever they may be.
But why? So why can't they just let them? Why can't they let them land?
Because then they end up being, it just allows them to control the narrative, because then they allow them to be maybe taken hostage, to be maybe harm to come to them, to get in the way of what IDF is trying to do, which is control the situation. And when you have these losers try to break through barriers, and it's just nonsense that they don't need to deal with.
What would be terrible about them being taken hostage?
Nothing. I would love that.
That's the thing. I mean, that's why I think that they should just let everything just happen organically. I don't know why would we stop this? If they want to go there, let them go there. Free will, baby. Let them go. Let them end up there. If they get taken hostage, I'm sorry. I don't care. You chose to do that. So I don't know why anybody's stopping this. If Greta Thunberg wants to end up there, and she wants to go, wear the scarf and be humanitarian, whatever, let her go. And if she gets abducted, well then, FAFO, lady.
Right.
That's what happens. And then maybe Theo Von will look at that and be like, wait a second. The Theo Vons of the world will look at, maybe their opinion will change about what's actually happening over there. That's how I feel about it.
I think that there were probably too many unknown variables that could have twisted a narrative into something that they just did not want to have to deal with. I mean, I totally agree with you. I would love for her to be taken hostage. Not that I condone violence on this show.
I mean, this is the thing. It's like, well, of course there's unknown variables when you're dealing with terrorists.
Right.
Hello? It's just, I don't know why. Just let them be. Let them be.
And probably because the IDF forces they do actually care about humans, and then they would have felt a responsibility to take care of these losers, and they just didn't want to have to deal with any of it. Apparently Greta had pre-recorded a message that would be sent through her people, that if they lost communications with this flotilla, the message from Greta would automatically be released. And that is what happened. Here she is complaining about being kidnapped.
Greta Thunberg, and I am from Sweden. If you see this video, we have been intercepted and kidnapped in international waters by the Israeli occupational forces or forces that support Israel. I urge all my friends, family and comrades to put pressure on the Swedish government to release me and the others as soon as possible.
Okay. All right.
Sweden should just say no. I mean, they're gonna send her home anyway, but like if they could just throw her in a jail cell, Sweden should just be like, well, I mean, that's where she decided she wanted to go.
They won't though. This is the thing. This is like free will. They should just let things happen with this chick. She's such a grifter.
God, she's awful. She's such an awful, awful little troll of a person.
Yeah, I just want to know who's paying this broad. Who's
I'm sure. Yeah, there's
master. Who is it?
There's definitely organization behind this, and I'm sure that the money could be traced somehow. That's a great point.
Yeah.
We will see too what it looked like in some ways when IDF kind of intercepted their ship in just a second. But first, we want to remind you to drink your Blackout coffee.
Oh my
These
God.
are the kinds of days when you really need it, you guys.
This is cup 3, you guys. This is number 3.
Well, and the coffee taste is very bold. It's strong. It is. It makes no apologies, and it's just like the company itself. They stand by their conservative values. It's why we love them. Not to mention the fact that they have all the yummiest flavors, and they've got a whole bunch of different gift bundles that you can get. So if you're scrambling still for Father's Day, despite the fact that we've given you a bazillion ideas. If you're still scrambling, there's still time to get yourself one of the gift bundles. You can either do one that includes like some really cool t-shirts and merch and coffee, or you can do like a cocoa and t-shirt one, and their t-shirts are super cool anyway. So lots of really great merch, lots of really great flavors, or if you just like the regular stuff, they've got that too. Whether you want grounds, beans, whether you want the K-cups, they've got it all. You can check out blackoutcoffee.com/chicks and then use code chicks at checkout for 20% off your first order. blackoutcoffee.com/chicks. Do it. So right when they were intercepted, apparently Greta and all of her ridiculous friends threw their phones into the water. It's almost like they didn't want them to see where the money was coming from, which just added to the pollution in the Mediterranean Sea, which she's supposed to be against, right? Because she used to be climate girl?
Yeah, used to be, until this became more profitable for her. She's just a freaking grifter.
Oh, she's awful.
Such a little hag, man.
Just the worst. And then IDF even proceeded to pass out sandwiches, waters. They tweeted, the Israel Foreign Ministry said all the passengers of the selfie yacht, which is what they're calling it, are safe and unharmed. They were provided with sandwiches and water. Show is over, which I love. That's what they're calling it, is a show. And then they released a broader statement saying that the passengers are expected to return to their home countries, while Greta and others attempted to stage a media provocation whose sole purpose was to gain publicity, and which included less than a single truckload of actual aid. More than 1,200 aid trucks have entered Gaza from Israel within the past 2 weeks. And in addition, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has distributed close to 11 million meals directly to civilians in Gaza. There are ways to deliver the aid. They do not involve Instagram selfies. The tiny amount of aid that was on the yacht and not consumed by the celebrities will be transferred to Gaza through real humanitarian channels.
Yeah.
God, I hate her.
I know. What's going to be next? What's she going to do next? She's probably going to go to LA and start participating in the riots.
Probably. She'll be all like immigrant focused.
What's the next thing? It's gonna, yeah, it'll be illegal immigration. She's going to go from one thing to the next. This is what this chick does. Disgraceful.
And the protests are out of control. They continue to be out of control. There was some order sort of restored in certain spots, but I think it's just going to continue, and I think it's going to spread across the country. So brace yourselves, particularly if you are in a blue run city.
Yep.
That's where it's going to happen the worst. But just to give you an example of some of the things that started over the weekend, there was this. Asshat throwing rocks directly at ICE vehicles. Unreal. So then the FBI put out a reward. I think it's like 50 grand, if I'm not mistaken, to help identify the mask wearing rock thrower. And then all the media was trying to say initially on Saturday night that this was a peaceful protest.
You guys. It's totally peaceful. Oh my God. It makes this, it's just insane. Look at this. Yeah. It's like so Beirut, you guys. I can't. It's just peaceful. My kids in California, they cannot wait to get the hell out.
They're
my God. Out of here like yesterday. They want to leave now.
I don't blame them.
They're like, it is a absolute dumpster fire. I don't know. And then you look at some of the posts that people make and they're like, oh yeah, California, we in California, we stand by these protesters. I mean,
God,
it's insane. Like California's going to California, right? This makes January 6th look like a kid's field trip at the Capitol.
Yeah, absolutely. During Sunday afternoon, people were heading towards the federal the ICE center. Essentially, that's where they were headed. This is the point, I believe, where Trump was like, we got to secure the ICE facility. And that's why he was demanding that National Guard troops come to support the police, because of course the police have nothing to do with ICE. They're not allowed to help ICE. So what's Trump going to do? You know what I mean? Not send reinforcements to help protect the ICE agents.
Yep.
And then the chaos in the streets just continued to grow, as you can see. Absolute mayhem. And then they start chanting up, up, up with immigrants, down, down, down with Trump, because they've got all the TDS.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All you privileged elite white people, take them into your homes. Still, I'm waiting for that. Take them into your homes. It's like those biatches at that podcast that we called out last week, who are like the elite, liberal, rich women who live in all white neighborhoods. And they're like, we love illegal immigration. We love it.
Right.
Just keep it out of my gated white community. Keep it out of there. With my kids, Roman and Saffron, in their little white school. Keep it out of there. True? I don't know.
Are those the names?
I think her son's name is Roman, but you know her daughter's name is probably Saffron or something like that. Because they all name their kids like Roman and Saffron, don't they? They drink their Erewhon drinks. I mean, it's like, this is what they do. They preach to everybody else about how they love illegal immigration, and they won't take them in. Take them in. They don't live amongst this stuff. They don't see it. Now they're starting to see it on TV, and they're like, that's over there.
Right. And I think it's fine. They're just peacefully protesting. It's fine.
Peaceful.
So then some news stations were starting to actually report what was for real happening, which was absolute mayhem. Here's an example.
Law enforcement, obviously unacceptable. And you could see how quickly the Trump, okay, so they're throwing somebody just threw a bottle at law enforcement. They're throwing bottles at law enforcement. Okay, we're going to move back. We're going to move back. We're going to move back. We're going to stay at a safe distance.
So peaceful. Like
so
super
peaceful, right?
Super peaceful, you guys. I mean, I feel like I'm at peace. I can really breathe. It's like serenity. It's almost like being at the beach, taking.
Don't you just want to take a yoga mat out there?
I want to just like cop a squat and just sit there and start meditating and crap. I do, right in the middle of all that. It's so peaceful.
So peaceful.
Right.
So obviously, Fox News was reporting what was going on. And then we had clowns like this idiot on MSNBC continuing to insist primarily that this is all just super peaceful.
Right, of course.
That I spoke to, that I was interacting with, these are peaceful people that want to get their message across. They brought signs. They're out with families in some places. And others are obviously more agitant, have the mask on, and reportedly, I didn't see this, but reportedly throwing things back at authorities that are trying to do their jobs as well.
Yes.
Like, I didn't see it. What I saw was all peaceful. Right next to what is being shown next to your face.
It's like
bombs and smoke and fire.
The summer of George Floyd all over again. You know, where like shit's on fire and CNN's like, it's peaceful. It's peaceful.
Fine.
And then after that, it was, listen, Joe Biden doesn't have dementia. He's not shitting his pants. He's not. It's fine, you guys. They lie. They
don't
lie.
believe what you see with your own eyes.
Don't believe the fire's behind you. It's not happening. It's all peaceful.
And I think it's not a great look for Democrats that there are so many Mexican flags being flown around.
Oh my God.
Which is something that Markwayne Mullen pointed out to Dana Bash, who of course insists that this is all fine.
Out there protesting, carrying a foreign flag. That is absolutely insane. I mean, they're not just peaceful protesters. Well, these are illegals. These are exactly why the president is trying to secure our border.
All right. Well, carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know.
Oh my God!
I just want to be clear.
Okay, Dana.
I just want to be
flag while you're attacking law enforcement.
Well,
it's pretty bad.
That's a different question. But
these aren't refugees, y'all. These are not refugees. These are military-aged men coming into our country wanting to raise their flag from another country. That's an invasion. There's no way else to say it. It's an invasion. Do you go to other countries and do that? You don't see that happening in other countries. We allow that to happen here somehow. It's not okay.
I saw a couple videos too of someone who appeared to be Hispanic burning an American flag and saying, F this country, my country is Mexico. And I'm like,
well, then go.
Did you know that you can just go back? You don't have to be. Nobody wants you here.
Right. And what really pisses me off is that there are good, like I live in Texas. It's like a third of the people around here are Mexican or of Mexican descent. Okay. That's what drives me. There are good people who are Mexican American, and those people are looking at these jackholes going, can y'all quit ruining it for us? Can y'all quit being such jerks? Because there are good Mexican Americans who voted for Trump, who are MAGA, who hate this garbage.
Yeah. I mean, it just is a really bad look all the way around. I don't know why the left thinks this is helpful to their cause, but this is, I guess, keep doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I hope no one gets hurt and I hope no one's businesses gets destroyed. But if they want to continue to protest and show their asses the way they are, I guess.
Yeah. And listen, it goes back to, they're going to fight for people who break the law.
Right.
And,
always.
They're always going to fight for the people who break the law and people who are basically illegal and non-citizens over the people who pay the bills and the people who are actual Americans. They're going to always do that. So pick what side you want to be on. I'm on the side of people who are pro-America and pro-Americans.
Same.
It's easy.
And speaking of the people that show their asses, you know who else will show you their ass? Dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs will do that. And they will do it sometimes. They don't mean to, but sometimes they do a lot of licking and they do a lot of picking and scratching because they've got some sort of something that they've gotten from a yeast infection of some sort, or just allergies that they might have to something that's outdoors. And you guys, we've got the antidote right here. It's Coat Defense. This is the preventative powder. This is for dogs. You can use it on cats too. It's very, very gentle. And so is their shampoo, which was originally created for humans that didn't want all the harsh chemicals in their shampoo, like the sodium, lauryl sulfate, the petroleum, all the bad stuff. They took all that out. So it's just this nice, gentle shampoo that's great for your dog's skin because it lets their natural oils still stay while also getting their fur clean. So it's really, really nice. The combination is absolutely the best, and it will keep your dog out of the vet's office for stuff that you're going to take them to because they're itching and they seem allergic to something, and then you're going to get prescribed Apoquel and all kinds of other prescription stuff. You don't need it. You just need Coat Defense first. Try it first, and you will be surprised how much you stay away from the vet's office for those typical rashes and other dog skin conditions. You can get 15% off your order at coatdefense.com with code, of course, CHICKS. Do it. CoatDefense.com. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about what's going on in LA specifically. Gutfeld had a really great comment about all of this, as he always does. And he said, trying to find a country to establish a sanctuary city where I can burn shit while waving my native country's flag, while violently demanding that they don't send me back to the native country of the flag I'm waving. Is there a country I can terrorize and then demand sympathy when they want me to leave?
Yeah, exactly. Name any other country. Name any other country where you can do that, where you can just go as an American. First of all, they're not going to let you in because they vet. Other countries actually vet people coming in. European countries, every other country does that. So it's going to be hard for you to live there and then take shit for free, you know, live off the American taxpayer, which is what a lot of these people are doing. And then on top of that, go in there and complain about it.
Right.
And wave the American flag. You really think that other countries are going to allow that? And then Democrats are like, this is fine. Totally. This is fine. Oh my God.
It's just ridiculous. Trump obviously getting heavily involved in this entire situation. Earlier in the weekend, he tweeted that he was not going to tolerate masks anymore. People are going to be arrested. He said, great job by the National Guard in LA after 2 days of violence, clashes, and unrest. We have an incompetent governor and mayor who were, as usual, just look how slow they handled the fires, and now they're very slow permitting disaster. Federal permitting is complete. Unable to handle the task. These radical left protests by instigators and often paid troublemakers will not be tolerated. And from now on, masks will also not be allowed to be worn at protests. What do these people have to hide and why? Again, thank you to the National Guard for a job well done.
Now, I will say the only people who should be allowed to wear masks are the ICE agents. Because I think it was last week, the ICE director, Todd Lyons, he was explaining to the media how some of these ICE agents are wearing masks because they're being doxxed. People are coming after. Yeah, they're being doxxed and threatened. Their families are being threatened because these freaking lunatics are doxing them and threatening their families for doing their job, for actually establishing, I don't know, the law. They're just following the law. They're doing their jobs. And so I'm okay with the ICE agents wearing masks. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's doing this by like, if there's going to be an executive order or like how this gets implemented, but arrests need to happen. And this needs to be classified as a serious crime because like enough is enough. You know what I mean? This is absolutely out of control. Andy Ngo was warning what this will look like across the country. He said, if the political violence continues in LA, it'll be used to galvanize and inspire far left extremists and Antifa cells across the country to incite anti-government insurrections in different cities. What we're witnessing now is almost exactly what happened 5 years ago. Same networks and militants are involved. It is their same playbook. So I do think that there are some illegals who are out there protesting, and they're probably, by and large, not as violent as the homegrown leftist extremists who do get paid to do all this stuff. I think it's a mix of both illegals and American citizens who are just trying to cause trouble.
Yeah, but the illegals are emboldened by that.
Totally.
They're out there like, oh, you can do this. Let's do it. I mean, screw it. I'm entitled. I mean, there's a lot of illegals who feel absolutely entitled and emboldened by these people who are telling them, do this, and getting egged on. It's an emotional response to that. So it's none of it is okay. It's like just a huge fire and putting fuel on that fire. And somebody said in here that something like trouble. I don't know how you said it. I'm paraphrasing, but trouble is brewing. Like this is just getting started. I don't like to even think about where this is going to end up.
I know. Cause it got so violent too last night. And the fact that people are attacking cops in the way that they are, it's just, it's not, none of this is okay. And I do think Trump learned something from the summer of love from 2020. And I think he's way more on top of it and intends to be, which is great. I know that there were flyers going around over the weekend that they're trying to do the similar kind of protest in Tampa. You know, that shit's going to get shut down instantaneously. There's no way.
Right.
Yeah. Governor DeSantis would never stand for it. Whereas Gavin Newsom is just like, we have this. We've got this, you guys.
Right.
We've got this under control.
Meanwhile, he's eating dinner. Yeah. He's out like eating dinner at the French Laundry or whatever. He doesn't care. He doesn't.
All he cares about is getting on camera. And he was like, mouthing off to Tom Homan and like saying, you guys are basically Tom Homan, because he's in ICE, he's the bully, right? And so Tom Homan was asked what he had to say to Gavin Newsom, and here is Tom.
I'd love to get your response to Governor Newsom saying, essentially, that your actions here are provocative, and the quote that he used was sowing chaos.
So Governor Newsom's an embarrassment for the state. But, he's the one that's feeding this mantra. He supports sanctuary cities. He supports sanctuary laws. If he cared about public safety in the state of California, he would not have a sanctuary for criminals, where criminals get released to the streets of this state every day because of his policy.
Yep. That's right. And Trump was.
I think deep down, Newsom knows that a lot of this stuff is wrong. He just goes with the flow. I honestly believe that in my heart. It's kind of like the transgender issue. I think he knows that the transgender issue is just a complete shit show. Like, he knows that men they don't belong in women's sports. He knows it, but he is so much of a pansy that he's just unwilling to stand on. He just goes wherever he thinks he needs to go. He's a chameleon. And like, when it comes to this, he's too far gone. He's like, no, I'm just going to sit back and let it happen.
It's so stupid.
He's the worst.
He wants to be president, right?
Yeah,
like, this is terrible optics for him.
Worst kind of politician that there is. He's just he doesn't stand for anything. He won't.
Yeah. Trump was caught on the tarmac and was asked about the protests. And here's what he said.
Watching it very closely. And when they spit at people, they spit. That's their new thing. They spit, and worse, you know what they throw at them, right? And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit. And I told them, nobody's going to spit on our police officers. Nobody's going to spit on our military, which they do as a common thing. They get up to them this far away, and then they start spitting in their face.
Gross.
That happens, they get hit very hard.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, that tells you who they are. Yep.
Dan Bongino and also Cash Patel, but I grabbed Dan's tweet about this because they are not dealing with this. They said, if you choose violence tonight, this was last night that Dan posted this message is for you. We will be investigating and pursuing all available leads for assault on a federal officer, in addition to the many arrests already made. And although we'll pursue every case, we don't need to catch every single perp. We just need to catch you. A short time ago, the director and I notified our teams to use all of our investigative and technological tools to pursue you long after the order is firmly established. We will not forget, even after you try to.
I believe him on this.
Yeah. They do not play.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to play with this. It's not going to be like 2020. I think
Thank
they're
God.
I think they're going to go after some people, and they're going to put some people in jail. And then, you're going to have, I don't know, you may see some of the Kamalas on the left trying to bail people out, but it's not going to end as nicely as it did for the Dems the last time. It's just, people are sick of this shit.
Yeah. And I mean, and like, we'll get to it in just a little bit, but when they start blocking traffic, when just like regular people are trying to live their lives and they get stuck in the middle of this chaos, people get mad, and rightly so, because this is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And by the way, what's ridiculous is if you're trying to lose weight, if you do those like shots, don't do that, you guys. Try this. We've got some amazing testimonials about lean weight loss from Brickhouse Nutrition. So Patty S, for example, I've got a couple of different testimonials for you. Patty S says, I finally found a weight loss product that works. Lean really curbs my appetite. Lori said, I've struggled to get weight off, and lean has been a lifesaver. And Kelly said, this is amazing. I immediately noticed an energy boost and healthy weight loss. And so this is something that this product from Brickhouse, it helps you maintain healthy blood sugar. It helps control your appetite and cravings, and it burns fat by converting it into energy. It's got all the good stuff without yucky side effects that you can get from some of those shots. I just heard the newest thing that like can go wrong if you're doing the shots is you can lose your eyesight.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, what?
Just don't do that.
Right. Don't do that. Don't F with your face. You know what I mean?
Right.
Don't.
Lose weight the smarter way with lean. You can visit takelean.com and use code CHICKS20, CHICKS20 for 20% off your first order. That's CHICKS20 at takelean.com. All right. So speaking of Newsom, so we saw that tweet from Dan Bongino, and Newsom was tweeting up a storm because, of course, he's not going to actually do anything. So he's telling all the protesters, don't give Trump what he wants. Stay calm. Stay peaceful. This was way too late.
Dude.
Way too late.
Are you kidding me? That was yesterday. They're not staying calm and peaceful. Good Lord, this guy.
I mean, and he's more worried. He's more worried about the political optics. He doesn't want to give Trump a win by, having the National Guard shut this crap down.
There's that. And he also doesn't want to lose all the votes from the illegals.
Right.
He's in a pickle. Democrats love the illegals because it's just a shoot for votes, right?
He's in a pickle.
Yep.
You got to love the internet when they do stuff like create videos like this one of exactly what Gavin was doing.
Stay peaceful, everybody. Stay peaceful.
Look, here I am doing a selfie video.
Yeah, that's not fire behind me. It's not a guy with a Mexican flag and fire. It's completely peaceful.
Read what Donald Trump said when he was basically giving his team the go-ahead to make this stop.
A once great American city, Los Angeles, has been invaded and occupied by illegal aliens and criminals. Now, violent insurrectionist mobs are swarming and attacking our federal agents to try and stop our deportation operations. But these lawless riots only strengthen our resolve. I am directing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and Attorney General Pam Bondi in coordination with all other relevant departments and agencies to take all such action necessary to liberate Los Angeles from the migrant invasion and put an end to these migrant riots. Order will be restored, the illegals will be expelled, and Los Angeles will be set free. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I don't like calling them migrants. These people aren't migrants. They're illegals. They're illegals. They've broken the law. They're illegals. They're not migrants. They're not refugees.
They're
true. Illegals. They're
That's
illegals.
true. And he did call them that at the very beginning.
He did.
But then, I don't
Stay
know why
consistent,
he reverted.
that's what they are. They're not migrants.
Maxine Waters, who of course is a representative from the state of California, she was all mad. And so she decided to go visit the ICE detention facility, specifically to visit one of the union leaders who was arrested for getting in the way of deportation efforts by ICE. And so she was concerned about wanting to see how that person was being treated. And here's what happened when she showed up to that ICE detention center.
No, I want you to... Hello. Congresswoman Waters, I just came to use my congressional authority to check on David.
Ma'am, we're lobbying securely now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public affairs.
I need to get in.
That is the greatest thing ever.
What are you hoping to do, Congresswoman?
I just want to see David Werta. Right.
Would a congressperson normally be able to enter the...
Normally, yes.
What is happening here?
Well, there were some of the authorities, I don't know who they were, and I'm trying to get in to see David Werta, who they have arrested. He is the head of SEIU local union here. I don't know why he was targeted. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know whether they're going to deport him. I want to report back to my caucus about what's happening, but they have...
Okay. God, somebody said that she looks like a carp. That's so perfect. She really does.
She does look like a carp. She looks like a carp with a wig. She had a really, really bad wig. I saw somebody also say that she's basically Jasmine Crockett in like 30 years.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
You just fast forward that. Because Jasmine Crockett's never going to get voted out. She's going to be, this is it. And that's her.
Mm-hmm.
A carp with a wig.
Maxine wasn't done complaining. In fact, she revealed herself a little bit too much. The more she talks, the more she shows you who she is. And here she is saying exactly what she wants to have happen to all of these illegals.
Where the guns are. I want you all to take pictures of these guns and let people know that they're in our city with guns. And I'm sure they have orders to shoot and kill. I don't know, but otherwise they wouldn't have guns.
One question, Representative Ms. Waters, if there's one statement or a message that you can send to Donald Trump, what is that message here today?
My message to Donald Trump is you are a cruel human being and that you're using the poorest people in the land, the most vulnerable people in the land, to promote your politics. They should be given an opportunity to tell their story, whom they are, and why they're here, and ask the United States to please do what the Constitution allows us to do, and that is give them consideration for having citizenship.
There it is.
Okay. Do you know what the laws are, lady? I mean, you're a legislator, and she doesn't know what the laws are. But that's concerning. It really is. And I'm also concerned for that wig. It is holding on for dear life, you guys. It's holding on.
Well, and then she had the audacity to yell at the National Guardsmen. I mean, this is a sitting congresswoman berating actual people who are trying to do right by the country. This is just inexcusable, but here she is berating them.
Shoot an elected official. If you shoot me, you better shoot straight. I don't know why you're in my city. You did, the governor was not contacted. This is Trump and his outrageous attempt to not only target our sanctuary city, but to frighten us and intimidate us. This is wrong, and I hope that none of you will use those guns to shoot anybody.
What about, it's like somebody said, what about all the victims of illegals? What about all the victims? Does she care about? Oh, okay. I just need to be quiet about that. What about all the people that have died from fentanyl? What about all of that? What about all of the families of the victims, of people, of the women who have been raped, killed?
Well, didn't you hear the Washington Post thinks it's a mystery that there's been such a decrease in fentanyl seizures on the border?
It's a mystery.
It's so mysterious.
It is. It's a giant. It's mysterious. Thumb up my butt. I don't know why, you guys. We're journalists. Oh my God. Okay.
And just to show you how organized all of this stuff is, which is why, I said earlier that it's a mix of illegals who have been emboldened by the people that are really at the forefront of the protests, which are these organized, probably taxpayer funded organizations that send and pay all these people to go be violent. And they do it in such a way where pallets of bricks are at the ready, right? These pallets of bricks get delivered. And then also boxes and boxes of masks. Look at this.
It looks like they're trying to intimidate these police officers that are here. And a group of people handing out those masks, N95 masks, just in case.
Just in case what? Just in case what? In case what, lady?
I mean, what the hell? That's freaking bananas that is a thing.
And again, somebody's doing that, Mock. Somebody is orchestrating all of that. And they planned it in advance. Someone's paying for that. Follow the money.
Yeah. These are so well organized. There was a tweet about Antifa International. They announced that they would be attacking the ICE facility in San Francisco, in addition to the rioting going on in LA. This is the escalation of violence that the Democrat Party is horribly known for. Send in the U.S. military. I think we're all on board for that.
It's such an oxymoron. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they're supposed to be anti-fascism. They are the fascists.
Yep.
Like, it just, who's going to tell them?
And then late yesterday afternoon, the 101 freeway got completely blocked by these idiots. Here's what it looked like.
Those demonstrators are making their way down the ramp and onto the 101 freeway. This is, I think, a concern that we had seen a little earlier. The freeway had been shut down by law enforcement.
Gotta be so pissed.
And it is now being shut down by the other side. Demonstrators are on the surface of the southbound 101 freeway and blocking traffic.
That's great. What if there's an ambulance? What if there's an ambulance trying to save somebody's life? What if it was your grandmother that was being rushed to the hospital and they couldn't get there because of these jackholes? Oh my, the rage.
They do not care. They don't care.
They don't care.
It's absolutely disgusting. I mentioned Father's Day earlier and how we've given people plenty of ideas, but you guys, the best idea always, forevermore.
The best.
I mean, every time. You cannot screw this up.
Filet with bacon around it. Are you kidding me? You had me at bacon.
And they've got those thick chops too that also have the bacon around them.
So good. The pork chops. Everybody forgets about the pork chops, but pork chops are.
Yeah, theirs are, I don't know. They are so fat. And they're
they
so
are very
tender.
fat.
Absolutely delicious. You can make your own custom made Daddy-O box for Father's Day. You can put whatever your dad's or the dad in your life's favorites are, whether it's steak, whether it's burgers, smash burgers. They've got the real thin, yummy ones, or all the sides. Like say that you want like the pepper risotto cakes or like those balls. They are so good. The scallop potatoes that look like a little tulip when they're baking, and then they like expand and they just get like crispy brown on the top.
I'm so hungry right now. Those are good for breakfast instead of hash browns. Those are good.
Ooh. Oh my God. That's a great idea.
Right? I am full of great ideas when it comes to messing up your diet. I'm your huckleberry. All right.
Which of course leads us to the fact that they also have amazing desserts.
They do.
So check out all the goods at omahasteaks.com. Use promo code CHICKS. You can get an extra $35 off your order, and the sale prices are already amazing anyway. So take $35 extra off when you use promo code CHICKS at omahasteaks.com. Mayor Bass also trying to insist side by side next to the scenes of the 101 being taken over and like all the mayhem, chaos breaking out, trying to insist on CNN, they've got it under control. They don't need any National Guard. They're taking care of it. Just listen.
That our law enforcement officers can handle this situation. But I just
Okay.
have to repeat again, it's a feeling here of intentional chaos.
You think?
You're going to handle it just like you handled the fires, right, lady?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. She's unreal. She's blaming the government for this. She's blaming Trump, basically the federal government, for all of this, obviously, because it's like she can never like look inward and say, hey, what can we do to make things better here? No, it's always somebody else's fault. This is not going to end well. This is just going to get worse and worse, you guys. That's at least what I think is going to happen. This is just going to be catastrophic in every way. And somebody said, I hope that I hope my kids are not supposed to move until the end of July and come here. I wish they could come this week.
Yeah.
Like, I just want them to get the hell out of California. That's how I feel, because it's getting so bad. It is a literal dumpster fire there. And I don't know
just a word to like anybody who, because what I worry about is, not that I don't, Kyle Rittenhouse did, what he did, and he obviously did not. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But my fear is that there's going to be folks on the right who want to go and try to stop what they see happening on the streets, which is the worst thing. Yes, because there are the Kyle Rittenhouses in the world that want to go out and try to do what they can to quiet the unrest. And I just think that is the worst possible thing to do.
I feel like people are just going to let it implode.
I hope so. That's what I want.
I think that more and more people are just going to get the hell out of there and just be like, y'all go ahead and just hurt yourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, there's no saving California. It's just a travesty, you guys. But the last time we visited California, my husband and I, we went to go see our boy and his wife. And that was 3 years ago, probably 3 years ago. We actually went there because they've been here more than we've been there, obviously. I don't like visiting California because it's too freaking expensive, one. But we went there, and it's just a beautiful place. When you drive outside of the cities and you drive through California, it is gorgeous. And so California is a pretty place. That's why people live there. That's why people go there, is because it is so beautiful. The weather's beautiful. It has a lot of great. Democrats have ruined that state. They have just ruined it. And that's the thing. People are leaving and leaving and leaving because they're like, I just can't do it anymore. They just can't. Yeah. And it's a shame. They've done it.
It is a huge shame.
They've done it to themselves.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. And it's being destroyed by the lax inaction of their Democrat leadership.
Right.
And Kamala, can you imagine if Kamala were president right now?
Right. Oh my God. It's already a disaster because they're doing it to themselves. We can't save these blue places. We can't. I don't know what else to do. I mean, you tell these people, listen, get better leadership, unless they help themselves, you can't help them. So like people like our son and his wife, they're just like, enough. We're done. We're going to Texas. Yeah. We can't do this anymore. We're not going to raise a family here. Why would you want to raise a family in California? Oh my God. And like the schools alone, forget it.
Let me just make sure that there was not a misunderstanding. I'm a big Kyle Rittenhouse fan. Okay. So people that are trying to be like, Kyle did, he was protecting himself or defending himself. I know. I'm saying he went there though, because he was on the right side, hoping to do good things, to try to stop all the horrors that he was seeing. That's great. Okay. I just don't want that to happen this time around, because we don't need this to become an all-out civil war. I'm not criticizing Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm saying I hope that people are not inspired to go out and fight these idiots. Leave that to law enforcement and to
the National Guard.
Whatever, and the National Guard if they get called. That's all I'm saying.
Totally.
So
because you guys, they're gonna implode. I mean, they're imploding right now. These blue states, these blue cities, they're imploding. And to me, it's like when it comes around to election times, this is the kind of stuff where we just point at it and go, this is what
the ads write themselves.
It's right there. All you got to do is just look at these places.
Mm-hmm.
That's Democrat policy. That's it. And then here we are. What do you want? What do you want? Do you want the dumpster fire, or do you want an America that is a normal civil place with rules and laws? What do you want? I know what I want.
We mentioned Kamala just a second ago. She, of course, released a statement. If you could read this for everybody.
Oh my God. Here we go. Los Angeles is my home. And like many Americans, I am appalled at what we are witnessing on the streets of our city. Deploying the National Guard is a dangerous escalation meant to provoke chaos. Oh, screw you, lady. God. In addition to the recent ICE raids in Southern California and across our nation, it is part of the Trump administration's cruel, calculated agenda to spread panic and division. This administration's actions are not about public safety. They're about stoking fear of a community demanding dignity and due process. Protest is a powerful tool, essential in the fight for justice. And as the LAPD mayor and governor have noted, demonstrations in defense of our immigrant neighbors, she means illegal, right? have been overwhelmingly peaceful. Oh my God, she's so full of shit.
I know.
I continue to support the millions of Americans who are standing up to protect our most fundamental rights and freedoms. No, you don't have a right to come here illegally. You don't have a right to do that. That is not something that you get to do. If you cross this border illegally, you are invading. That's what you're doing. And when 20 million people do it, that is, in fact, an invasion. It's unsustainable for the American people, for the people who are footing the bill. For her to insinuate that that is not an invasion, that is somehow peaceful, and that the fires and the people riding around with their flags from their home countries is not an invasion, she's high. What is she smoking? Is it weed? Is that what she's smoking, weed?
Well, they're always on the wrong side. They're always on the wrong side of every issue.
Unreal.
Even when, because you know that most normal Americans are watching this footage, being horrified at what they're seeing and not thinking of it from all of these stupid political angles. This is what the Democrats do to hurt themselves every single time.
And again, Kamala lives in a house, in a mansion with a wall around it.
Yeah.
She gets to do that. Just like all these rich, white, elitist liberal women who preach to us about being, oh my God, you got to be inclusive. You got to let all the illegals in. Why? You don't. Let them into your house. Let them into your white neighborhood, lady. I mean, this is the thing.
Guy Benson with perfect tweet. Their official position is that they're appalled by what's happening in LA because of Trump and ICE and not the violent rioters. In its current form, this party cannot be salvaged.
It's true. They are a dumpster fire, and it's just burning and burning and burning. And they keep doubling and tripling and quadrupling down. I just don't. And between this, and we haven't even gotten to the Simone Biles stuff yet, between this and all their other crappy policies, there's no saving them.
Gavin Newsom was super mad, of course, about the National Guard being called. And so he wrote a sternly worded letter. And he said, I have formally requested the Trump administration rescind their unlawful deployment of troops in LA County and return them to my command. We didn't have a problem until Trump got involved.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is a serious breach of state sovereignty, inflaming tensions while pulling resources from where they're actually needed. Rescind the order, return control to California. Yeah, because you guys were controlling it really, really well.
Yeah, you were doing such a great job there, Gavin. Really, really great job. Go do another podcast, dude.
Right. So then he decided to try to do, hey, put him up talk to Tom Homan. And he sounds so ridiculous when he does it. You guys listen to Gavin trying to tough talk. Oh my God.
Has been here 10 years. The fear, the horror, the hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community.
No, you don't.
The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
The perception is there's a lot of...
Let's go.
He's literally the theater nerd, like going, put him up to the football player in high school. Okay, we're all like, okay, let's watch this. Let's go.
Yes, I would love it.
Go. Let's watch it.
Let's do it. And then he's got all this time, right, to do the podcast, to do, you know, all of his tweeting. Right. And then he was going after people. There was like one account who I guess was who posted a video of, you know, the chaos and said, enough of the media stations trying to say that this is peaceful, like enough is enough. And Gavin Newsom called out that person saying, this is a video from 2020, which it was not the burn that he thought it was. And so Kevin Dalton was like, Gavin Newsom wants to be clear that this video is not from 2025 when he let LA burn, but from 2020 when he let LA burn. Thank you for the clarification.
It's just been burning. It's been smoldering for 5 years. It's fine. Nothing to see here. It's fine. It's so much better, Gavin. That's so much better that you've been letting it burn for all that time and nothing's changed and you've sucked for all that time. Wow.
Good flex, Gavin. Good flex.
Keep going, Gab. Go back to your podcast, loser.
And then the LAPD came out to, you know, do a press conference about where they were. This was, I think, in the evening or maybe heading into night last night. Here is the police chief.
Doing what ICE does. You know, I respect ICE for being a fellow law enforcement agency. They have their mission. They have their what they have to do. We don't engage in that activity, but again, we can't preclude them from doing that. They have every right to do that. As far as the big picture of what can I recommend they do or not do, that's something it's a federal issue, and the federal authorities have the right to be able to do what they're doing. As far as people are worried about the violence that we're seeing, this violence that I've seen is disgusting. It's escalated now since the beginning of this incident. What we saw the first night was bad. What we've seen subsequent to that is getting increasingly worse and more violent. Tonight we had individuals out there shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you. We are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity and the type of things that they're doing. They'll take backpacks, and the backpack will have a cinder block in it. They have a hammer, and they'll break up the cinder block and use that, pass it around to throw at officers, to throw at cars, and throw at other people.
Yeah, they're overwhelmed by the number of people, you guys. Hence why Trump called in the National Guard.
Yeah. I mean, I fully support that. Fully support it. Somebody said, what happened to fire hoses? Like, what happened to like all that? Seriously, they need to like something they need to do to like pacify this crowd. But they're just so completely out of control that people, listen, I'm all about protesting. I think protesting is great, but you do need to be able to peacefully protest. It's kind of like, do you remember when we did like Tea Party protests? Remember?
And we made our own signs and they weren't given to us by an organization that our tax dollars are funding.
Then we cleaned up after ourselves when we were done.
We threw out all of our trash.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like when back in the day when we actually protested and we were like, we're going to protest, you know, everybody went out there, everybody's like happy. And it was like, that was a peaceful protest. The Tea Party protests were peaceful protests where people were like, oh no, we got to clean up the grounds when we're done. We got to make sure everything's clean, you guys. Leave it like we saw it and we came. You know, it's like that's a peaceful these are not peaceful protests.
No.
These are not. There's a stark difference. I mean,
and it got to the point where the officers who were trying to clear out the freeway were trapped under the overpass, because then there were people not only on the highway but also above, hurling rocks and other projectiles at them. And they, this is a great point by John Andrasik, who was like, imagine being a cop in LA, knowing your chief, mayor, and governor think you're the bad guy. And this is what it looked like with the people on top of the overpass. This is absolutely unreal.
Oh my God.
They could have been easily killed with the size of those rocks.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Insane.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I hope they arrested every last one of those.
I told you our kids live in California. Well, one of their friends is a sheriff, and he was involved in all of that over the weekend. And I'm just like, these are good people. These are good kids. I think they're kids because they are the same age as my kids. And they're out there doing this. And I'm like, I said to her, I was like, I don't know how anybody would want to be a cop in California. Like, it's one thing to be a cop now, because just being a cop, like, you got to be a special kind of person. Like, God bless you for being a cop now, because they have just been demonized in this country. So whenever I meet a cop, I'm like, thank you for doing what you do, honestly. And then to be a cop in California,
oh my God,
like, just like you said, like, your own government is demonizing you, let alone the people. I can't even imagine. I can't.
And they were not only were they destroying those cop cars, but they were also setting alight those self-driving taxis, the Waymos. And each one of those taxis is $150,000. So ultimately, the Waymo company had to shut down any like, they had to stop picking people up and dropping people off because they were worried about their cars getting lit on fire. And those are all lithium battery operated. And when you set off one of those on fire, the toxic, like the fumes and the gases and the length of time they burn is out of control. I mean, it's so harmful.
And again, I thought they were concerned about the climate, these people.
Right?
Yeah.
God,
not so much, right? Not so much when they're protesting, right?
Trump was tweeting up a storm in the middle of the night last night. He first said paid insurrectionists. He also said Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass should apologize to the people of LA for the absolutely horrible job they've done. And this now includes the ongoing LA riots. These are not protesters. They are troublemakers and insurrectionists. Remember, no masks. Arrest the people in face masks now. It's looking really bad in LA. Bring in the troops.
Yeah, they never apologized for the fires, how they treated that. Why are they going to apologize for this? They don't give a crap. And you know what really sucks is that those people in California will keep electing these assholes.
Yeah.
They'll just keep
and then
doing
they'll keep demanding. Gavin will come to the federal government and say, we've had all this damage. We need the rest of the country's taxpayers to pick up the tab.
And we'll have to do it. We'll have to pick up the tab for like the poor management of that state and those cities.
Oh my God.
It's asinine.
It makes me so mad.
I know, right? It's terrible.
Speaking of illegals, we need to talk about the latest news on Kilmar Abrego Garcia. By the way, this is going to be a long show. There's a lot going on this weekend.
FYI.
So over the weekend, Pam Bondi made an announcement that Kilmar is coming back or is already back in the United States because a grand jury has found him guilty of all kinds of things. And here she is to explain. Here's a little piece of what she said.
We want to thank President Bukele for agreeing to return Abrego Garcia to the United States. Our government presented El Salvador with an arrest warrant, and they agreed to return him to our country. We're grateful to President Bukele for agreeing to return him to our country to face these very serious charges. The grand jury found that over the past 9 years, Abrego Garcia has played a significant role in an alien smuggling ring. They found this was his full-time job.
Oh, interesting.
Not a contractor. He was a smuggler of humans and children and women.
Ah, interesting.
He made over 100 trips, the grand jury found, smuggling people throughout our country. This defendant trafficked firearms and narcotics
Wow.
throughout our country on multiple occasions.
How'd that margarita taste? With the guy that smuggled kids and women. How you feeling about that? People on The View and everybody, all the other liberals who like defended this dad, this Maryland dad. That
And Axios is still freaking calling him that. Look at this. This is what they tweeted. Breaking: wrongly deported Maryland man, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, is on his way back to the U.S. And so Trump's team was like, he's an illegal from El Salvador, and he's coming back here to face justice because a grand jury found evidence he trafficked women and children across America.
God.
You do not hate the fake news enough.
F you, Axios. God. These people do not care. They don't care. It's unbelievable. And then Bukele, President Bukele tweeted, he's so great. He was like, as I said in the Oval Office, number one, I would never smuggle a terrorist into the United States. Number two, I would never release a gang member onto the streets of El Salvador. That said, we work with the Trump administration, and if they request the return of a gang member to face charges, of course we wouldn't refuse. No more margaritas under custody. Take that, Holland, Van Hollen. I know, right? What a piece of crap that guy is. And everybody who supported him and was like, oh, this is right. This poor guy wearing the Kohl's shirt.
Oh my God.
He's a freaking smuggler. He's smuggling babies and now he's smuggling little kids.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
And you know who one of the people were that was defending this asshat is freaking Jessica Tarlov.
Yes.
And Greg Gutfeld got her so good.
The greatest.
Not convicted of anything, left to rot in a foreign prison.
He has been convicted.
He has not.
Yes, he has. Hey, he's illegal. He's been arrested. And get this, he's not an American citizen. If you want to spend all your attention trying to protect a human trafficker, you can do that.
Yep.
What I love about this is that in order to find this out, we had to send him to El Salvador, which created this unstable hysteria among camera-chasing Democrats, which forced this guy's crimes into plain view. Suddenly, the Maryland dad, and that's what you called him, was no word cleaver, more like Freddy Krueger, a wife-beating gangbanger, human smuggler. So if the Dems hadn't run to his defense, we might not have seen how bad they are and how stupid your party is.
Right.
And it's not about the man, says Van Hollen. The Dems compelled us to feel for him. They didn't count on was that their poster child for persecution was actually the persecutor. And unlike Van Hollen, I am sincere when I say that scumbag is irrelevant. Not Van Hollen, but he is a scumbag. The criminal. It's the demand that the media and the Democrats have for us to accept their narrative. They did this with George Floyd. They did this with Michael Avenatti. They did this with Jussie Smollett. They did this with BLM. They did this with Greta Thunberg. They did this with Joe Biden. And they did this with Hamas. Did I say BLM yet?
Yep.
Okay. Every narrative that they feed us turns out to be horribly wrong. They're either a poor judge of character or they don't give an F whether they're telling the truth or not. The Dems can only blame themselves, Jessica.
Yep. God, that was an
Glorious.
epic. I watched that in real time and I was like screaming, yes, at the TV. It was so great. And he went on to talk about how, like, even with the picture, they show the same picture over and over and over again to try to freaking brainwash you, right? With the hat backwards. That's what a real dad, like a Kohl's dad, just like a Midwestern dad wears his hat backwards, you know? It's such bullcrap what they do. The guy was smuggling humans. What a piece of shit he is. That's what
a piece of shit Jessica is for defending it.
She has children. She has children and she's defending this guy. What is wrong with these people? Honestly, what's wrong with any of these, especially the women? What's wrong with them?
She's absolutely off her rocker.
I'm judging all of them.
And I don't feel like the rest of the 5 panel has much patience with her anymore. They just say the things, and I love that.
Yeah, they just are kind of like, there. You're here as a token.
So if you were with us on Friday's show, you went on a journey with us from the beginning of the Trump and Elon fight all the way through basically Friday morning. And so obviously, you know, we left it. I was feeling kind of hopeful. I no longer am. I don't think that they're going to repair their relationship. I do think that they have reached sort of an impasse where it's not going to get worse. It's not going to get uglier. But it is, I don't think that they are friends anymore.
No.
And certainly Trump has made it clear that he is not interested in repairing the relationship. He was asked that directly. Do you have the desire to repair the relationship? His answer was no. Is your relationship with him over? This is according to NBC. And Trump said, I would assume so. Yeah.
I mean, he called him a pedophile. What do you expect? If I was friends with somebody and then I gave them all those opportunities and then they did that to me and called me that, I'd be like,
yeah, it's a low blow.
Bye. Bye.
Trump was also asked on his plane if he intended to like review any of Elon's contracts, any of the business contracts. And I thought, yikes, I hate this question because I don't want him to be targeted simply because he said the things, right?
Right.
But I think what Trump said was right. I think he was fair about it and reasonable about it. Here's what he said exactly.
And a good way to save money would be to cancel some of Musk's contracts. How seriously are you considering that?
Well, we'll take a look at everything. I look at everything. He's got a lot of money. He gets a lot of subsidy. So we'll take a look at that. Only if it's fair. Only if it's fair for him and for the country. I would certainly think about it, yeah, but it has to be fair.
And Elon responded to that and simply said, fair enough. So I think he's calming down.
I think we got some insight. We got some people write us and tell us that they have kids who have Asperger's and that they gave us some insight. I mean, it was very interesting, the insight that we got from some of the moms who wrote us, who I think that he had an outburst. I think he had an emotional like breakdown and an outburst. And he said things that he probably regrets a little, you know, like,
oh, he definitely does. He took down the tweet about Epstein.
Right. I think he regrets it. And he said things that in the moment he was super emotional. He has a problem with that, with his emotions, controlling his emotions. And he felt so right about this big, beautiful bill. And he's like so angry about it that he was willing to say anything. And he said it. And then I think after he sort of calmed down a little bit, I don't think it's drugs. I think that's his mind. I just think that's how he is. And so he had an outburst. And then after sitting on it for 24 hours, he was like, oh crap, maybe I shouldn't have said that. You can't take that back. You can't.
Yeah, that's toothpaste that's out of the tube.
Right.
Even if you do take down the post, the damage is done.
Right.
And again, Trump has been really, really good about this entire fight. He's been so measured in his response. And even on that same flight, he was asked, you know, just about Musk in general and where the relationship is. And he said he wishes him well. Here he is answering that question.
What's your view on Elon Musk as of today? I mean, have you heard from him at all?
Honestly, I've been so busy working on China, working on Russia, working on Iran, working on so many. I'm not thinking about Elon.
On the China,
I just wish him well.
I'm not thinking about him. And Elon posted that as well and said likewise. So I think, you know, the tempers are calming down.
Yeah, I think Elon he feels really bad about it. I think he
probably does.
I think he does. And I think he was just in a moment of, I am so pissed off about this. And because he does have, I mean, he does have that condition. He has that. And I think he has problems with controlling his emotions. And this is the outcome of that.
What's interesting is that Kash Patel was doing he was doing an episode with Joe Rogan as the fight broke out. So they were recording an episode which then got released late in the week. But as the fight was breaking out in real time, Joe Rogan was asking him about it, and Kash did not want to get involved. Here is what that looked like.
Since we were talking about fake news, this is going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat. Joe, you want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation between Elon
Have
and
a nice day, DJD. Someone should take his phone away.
They're going back and forth about different things. And
Listen, well, he said he was disappointed in Elon.
Yeah, he told him to leave.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files? Or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump-Elon thing. That's way outside my lane.
What are they doing?
I know my lane and that ain't it.
I just don't.
I know my lane and that ain't it. I appreciate that answer. That's probably what I would have done too. I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, I'm not talking about that.
Well, and the same exact thing happened with JD Vance, who was recording an episode with Theo Vaughn, because we played a clip of that earlier. And so again, this was real time. He's finding out about the fight, and here's what he.
Everything would be fine.
Oh, God, that had to be so hard to answer that question. Could you imagine, like right there, hearing it for not having any time to prepare anything in your brain and just having to answer it on the fly? Holy crap! But yeah, he is a brilliant communicator, isn't he? He is. Oh my God! But I agree with him, except for I don't agree with the whole "don't let him back into the fold." I wouldn't. If I were Trump, I'd be like, "You're done. You've done your time."
Keep him at arm's length.
I totally appreciate what you've done. And he did wonderful things with Doge. I am so grateful to him for Doge, because he uncovered so much waste, fraud, and abuse. We now see it. It's exposed. It's out there. We get it. Now we can expose more with the team, but he is way too emotional. He's just too emotional, you guys.
I mean, you know, we showed the tweets that he responded to Trump earlier. He also, I noticed, retweeted Trump's statement about, you know, basically saying to Cash, to Pam, to his whole team, we're going full steam ahead on this California riot thing. And Elon retweeted it and was like 100%. He also tweeted this because Adam Schiff released some video saying that he totally agrees with Elon. And he said, few things could convince me to reconsider my position more than Adam Schiff agreeing with me.
I mean, that's the thing. All of a sudden, like, liberals are going to be on his side now.
Right.
That guy is such a shifty Schiff.
He also, Donald Trump had a very unexpected defender in the form of Michael Cohen, who was weighing in on the Elon-Trump fight. And here's what he said about Elon's tweet about the Epstein thing. Here's Michael Cohen. Oh, yeah. And I think we already said that Elon deleted the post about Epstein.
Right.
So anyway, here is Michael Cohen.
So is there a world in which these two transactional guys, Musk and Trump, figure out that it's better not to be fighting and come back together? Or you think this
No, I think once Elon went so low in terms of talking about Epstein, and if we can stay on that topic for a quick second, look, I have extensive knowledge of Trump, being by his side for almost a decade and a half.
Right.
Let me dispel all of that notion. While he knew Jeffrey Epstein, and while, yes, he may be in the files in the form of Trump being in the black book, so were hundreds and hundreds of very name-worthy, influential individuals. I have zero knowledge of any relationship between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, and I would have seen it over the course of
literally, because your prosecution was all about how much you knew, and your testimony to Congress
and I'm telling you, it's nonsense. It's to the best of my knowledge and everything that I know, it's not true.
I was not expecting that.
Well, I mean, if anybody would want to fry him, it would be him,
right?
I think so. I mean, if Faye is saying Michael Cohen has asked Trump for a pardon, of course he's going to be on Trump's side. I totally disagree with you, Faye. Totally disagree. I think if anything, he would want to fry him.
Yeah, he's been awful. Absolutely awful.
The only reason I think that he would want to help him is if he was in Epstein's files.
Yeah, that's right. Elon was still kind of pushing this whole idea of another party, which I'm not a fan of. And then he also walked that back. He's clearly like on some sort of manic cycle right now. He's like in a manic cycle. Right. And he tweeted, the people have spoken. A new political party is needed in America to represent the 80% in the middle. And exactly 80% of people agree. He called it the America Party. But then somebody pointed out to him what that could actually do. Number one, Elon starts a new party. It gets 20% of the vote, mostly from former Republicans. Dems win the supermajority. Dems throw Elon in prison. And Elon was like, yeah, pretty much. So I mean, he knows that that's crazy. It
is crazy. Yeah, it totally is. And somebody mentioned that politics is too much for him. I think the same thing. I think he got in there. He is a businessman. He is a brilliant innovator and a businessman. And that and politics it's like oil and water, you guys. It just doesn't mix. And so he just did not mix well with these people and with that environment. And I think he wanted to do so many things that he could do in his business. Think about what he did with Twitter. He was like, I'm cutting 30% of the workforce. You just can't do that in government. I wish he could do that. Believe me, I wish to God he could do that, but he couldn't. And I think that frustrated him. I think it frustrated him to the point of an emotional breakdown. I just do. And he doesn't have, I mean, people love Elon. We all love Elon, but he doesn't have the loyalty that Trump does. And Megyn Kelly talked about that when it came down to breaking down this breakdown in their relationship. Here's Megyn. Oh, whatever. This one other tweet from Elon was so weird. He was like, this was yesterday. He goes, whatever happens, we've got the spaceships and they do not. And I'm like, I don't know. I think
he's talking about.
Is he trying to write a haiku? What is that? It's not. I mean, it's not. It doesn't have the
right, 3 lines.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah.
Anyway, here's Megyn.
What Elon, I think, is starting to realize is while his money can make a difference, it definitely can make a couple points of a difference in a certain political race here or there, not across the board. We saw it not work in Wisconsin on that Supreme Court election. The real person with influence is Donald Trump, and the person with the party loyalty is Donald Trump. Donald Trump took a bullet for the country and the party, and everybody watched that heroic moment. He's been through hell and back with these, litigations against him and criminal trials against him. He's earned the love and loyalty of the Republican Party in particular in a way I don't know that anybody ever will again. I really do. I just feel like he's been through so much. It's just, there's no, if it's between so-and-so and Donald Trump is going to win, even if you're Elon Musk. The thing about Elon is, I think I speak for many when I say everybody's grateful to him. The biggest thing he did to influence the election was buy X and restore free speech in America.
Right.
But you cannot take on Trump politically with the right. You'll lose.
She's right. She's 100% correct.
100%. 100% right. Just in case you start to see it, because if the left tries to jump on this and use it to prove God knows what, it's going to be a huge mistake. But apparently when Trump was walking up the stairs of the plane, he had a little bit of a misstep. And so people were like pouncing to say, oh my gosh, he basically has dementia like Joe, which is so ridiculous, because what you're about to see is Trump having a misstep and then Marco Rubio having the exact same one. So it kind of leads me to believe that there was something amiss about the step and not about the gentleman. But here is the video. Quick and easy save.
Right. Marco did it too.
Yeah, he's right after. He's right behind him.
And
it's like right about the same place too. So that kind of makes me feel like there was something up with that step.
Right. Totally. I'm sure there was, but they're only going to show Trump. They're not going to show Marco. Right.
Totally.
Because our media, they suck. Yeah.
And one more clip of Trump that I just wanted to share, because I saw this and I said this to my husband this weekend. I was like, you know what? The thing about Trump is that he is so effortlessly and naturally cool. Like he just is cool without trying to be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can see it in the moments where he's not trying to show himself to be something that he's not. He just is naturally cool. And I noticed it in this moment where he was at the UFC fight this weekend. Of course, everybody's losing them around. Everybody loves Trump at the UFC fight.
Yes. Oh my God.
And he's shaking hands with everybody in the front row, and he gets to Mike Tyson, right? And just the way that they greeted each other, it's just the quickest little video, but I was like, he's so freaking cool. You know what I mean? Without even trying. And it was the way that they shook hands. Just watch. You'll see what I'm talking about. I don't know why. I just was like, that's just so badass.
It's such a bro thing. It's like, he's like a bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love that. I just loved it.
Like a Gavin Newsom could never pull that off.
Oh my God, right? Like he would be like,
he'd be going.
And right. It would just be so
such a freaking
soy.
dork. He's such a dripping in soy, such a dork. I mean, you got to remember, before everybody hated him, he was loved. He was cool. He's been cool since he was like in his 30s, right? I mean, there are videos of him when he was younger, and remember he'd sit back for interviews, and he was a badass. He was kind of hot back then. Remember? Do you remember?
And he was so like, he would say the things that he would say with this like really quiet, calm,
very confident, very sure of himself. He's just like, whatever, I know who I am, you know?
Yeah. It's just like this swagger that he has without any effort. It's like effortless swagger.
Yes. Perfect way to describe it is the swagger, the Trump swagger.
All right. We got to get into the Simone Biles nonsense. Cause what an unexpected disappointment she is. And this came out of literally nowhere. Okay. So Simone Biles decided to go after Riley Gaines over the weekend. And here's what she said. Riley Gaines had tweeted something about, men and girls sports essentially. And she retweeted it saying, "You are truly sick. All of this campaigning because you lost a race. Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Maybe a transgender category in all sports. But instead, you bully them. One thing is for sure is no one in sports is safe with you around."
Okay,
and then
Simone.
for good measure, she tweeted again, "Bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male."
Yeah, 5'5", 135 pounds. Is that a male? Is that like a typical male? Okay.
But she's recognizing that males are different.
Yeah, she totally is. Yeah, that was the first thing that was completely hypocritical. And she just took a huge crap on her legacy this weekend.
Yeah,
she
big
just
time crap.
A huge crap. I mean, because she's done. She's cooked legacy-wise. I mean, this is like you always say, an 80-20 issue.
Totally.
And I just think I don't know why she decided to do this, but just like all these other women in these sports where men haven't infiltrated, I find it interesting because you notice how the women who are going against Riley are the ones where cheating men haven't infiltrated their sports. Because you've got gymnastics. I mean, I'd like to see her do the pommel horse in the rings, right? She's not done
or just
that.
And we actually have video of her trying to do some pommel horse.
Do it right. But gymnastics, tennis, Martina Navratilova, right? And soccer. You haven't seen a lot of soccer. You haven't seen a lot of that where men are infiltrating women's sports. This is Megan Rapinoe, because she talks about how trans is like, you should totally. So those women are really outspoken against women like us, women like Riley, who are against men getting into women's locker rooms and infiltrating their spaces and cheating because they're cheaters. Because, weirdly enough, they are gajillionaires now and they don't have to worry
and
about
they're done.
One, and
they're done with their sport.
Right. They're done with their sport. And it's also not affecting their sports. It's just interesting how that works, isn't it?
So Riley obviously was not going to just take that lane down.
Of course not.
So she had a couple tweets of her own in response. One of them just said, "This is so disappointing. My take is the least controversial take on the planet. Simone Biles being a male apologist at the expense of young girls' dreams. Did not have that on my bingo card. Maybe she could compete in pommel horse and rings in 2028. And then she also brought up the fact that Simone was outspoken when it was okay for her to be about Larry Nassar and the sexual abuse that so many of the gymnasts faced under his hands. And so Riley posted about that. Here's Simone Biles when she had to endure a predatory man versus Simone Biles when other girls have to endure predatory men."
Isn't that
which
interesting?
Was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Would she be okay with Larry Nassar like getting stripped down in her locker room?
Right.
Would she be all right with that? Yeah.
Riley said, all the horrific sexual abuse Simone Biles witnessed and spoke out against caused by one man, yet she believes women should be forced to strip naked in front of men to validate the man's feelings. You know how many gold medals you'd have if your inclusive dream came true? 0. She's absolutely right.
She's 100% correct. And also, again, I find it interesting that it's okay for her to say this now because she's not subjected to it. So now that she's a gajillionaire with all of her sponsorships and everything, other girls can be subjected to dicks flying around in the locker rooms. That's okay for them because I don't have to deal with it because I'm Simone. Okay.
So then Riley wasn't done, and she decided to make a video response to her as well. It was well over 4 minutes, so we won't have the whole thing. But here are some key pieces of her message back to Simone.
Let me get something straight. It's my job. It's the women's job. This is what Simone Biles is saying. It's the women's job to find a way for the men's feelings to be validated, for their identity to be affirmed. That's not my job, actually, at all. So to say I should be doing this is insane. She goes on to say, but instead you bully them. One thing's for sure, no one in sports is safe with you around. I can't even make sense of that last part, actually. Then, out of the blue, she tweeted this. Bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male. Which is hilarious, really for 2 reasons. Number one, she's acknowledging there are differences, like physiological, biological differences between men and women in saying this. Secondly, I'm 5'5", which might seem like a giant to someone who's like 4'7", 4'8", but I'm pretty standard size for a woman. I guess like relatively muscular, right? Being an athlete, I would imagine Simone would understand that, but I weigh like 135 pounds, 5'5", of pretty much pure muscle. And again, if anyone would understand that, you would think it's Simone Biles, a woman who has historically been scrutinized for having a very muscular, masculine-looking body. She was scrutinized to the point she did this whole body positivity campaign. Then she has the nerve to say that I look like a man. If Larry Nassar came out as trans, would Simone think it's responsible or safe for him to be housed in a women's prison? What we saw from Simone is the definition of pulling up the ladder behind you. Something people like Megan Rapinoe have also done. I have a feeling that if Simone's inclusive dream came true, she would have 0 Olympic medals and no one would even know who she is.
Yup.
Yep. She also
Riley.
She also didn't make it through the Olympics. Remember, she quit. Like, did she?
Because she got the twisties.
Right? Is that?
She got the twisties. That's like legit. What that's their excuse. She got the twisties.
The twisties. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. I mean, okay. This is not strength. Standing up for men, kowtowing to men is not strength. Standing up for other women is strength. That's the thing. This is the easy way, man. She's taking the easy way out. She's taking the woke way. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's strength. No, it's not. Strength is actually standing up to these guys who were trying to invade our spaces. I mean, when she actually went against Larry Nassar, she was trying to go up against a guy who was it was sexual abuse that was happening.
Yeah, he was a predator.
He was a predator. And predators do what? They groom. They groom people. Well, that's one of the things that Riley Gaines talked about in her what I say in her testimonials against what happened to her on the swim team is the NCAA came in and they were just like, hey, we're going to go ahead and give you this class on how to deal with transgenders coming in.
How to make them feel more welcome.
Right. You need to make them feel welcome coming into the locker rooms. That is grooming. They're grooming these girls to feel okay with these guys coming into the locker room and stripping down in front of them. That's grooming. So Simone is okay with that, but she was not okay with that guy, with the guy that was a sexual abuse. It's, to me, I don't
pickling.
Pickling.
And then here's what it looks like when Simone does try to have the same kind of strength as a man who competes in gymnastics. So first you're going to see a dude doing what a dude does on a pommel horse, of course, but it's on the floor, which should give Simone a bit of an advantage because she does floor work all the time. But here's what happens when you try to put them up against each other. There's the dude. And here's Simone.
Oh, big fat fail. Look at that.
Surprise.
Now see if those two can go up against each other for a scholarship. And who's going to get the scholarship? Not you, Simone. cannot.
And then, because the internet lives forever, people started trolling through Simone's old tweets. And it just so happens that she used to be on the correct side of this issue. In fact, way back in 2017, she said, oh, good thing guys don't compete against girls or he would take all the gold medals. And Riley retweeted it saying, whoop, don't you hate it when your past self completely undermines your current nonsensical argument? How has 2025 Simone reconciled with the fact that 2017 Simone was a truly sick bully by her own standard?
Exactly. I love it. I love how people don't read their own tweets.
Right?
Honestly. The fact that she just decided to pick this fight. What an idiot.
Out of nowhere. I know.
Just
right?
What an idiot. I mean, it's just, it's so stupid to me that she did this. Like, you completely killed your legacy.
She lost so many fans.
Oh my God.
By doing this. So many. Mary Catherine Ham said, there's plenty more to say on this issue, but I cannot get over that Simone Biles thought she would jump into this debate by body shaming a woman for having a lot of muscles.
Right?
Just incredible.
I know. None of this is, I just cannot wrap my brain around any of this. I can't.
I loved the snark in this next tweet, and it is from Woke and Woofing. It says, it's ridiculous to say Leah Thomas only won because of her physicality. In the male leagues, there used to be a guy called Will who was the exact same height and weight and proportions as Leah, and he didn't win an effing thing.
So true. He was like 300. He was like 350th with the guys. Yeah. Go figure.
Perfect. And then, of course, there was a fantastic video from the founder of XXXY, friend and sponsor of the show, Jennifer Say. And she was excruciatingly disappointed in Simone Biles. Jennifer also used to be a gymnast.
Yeah.
And here is what she said to Simone. She was shaking mad.
Just know women are not responsible for making men feel safe in women's sports. Women are not responsible for validating male identities, especially not the ones who think they are women. Those men can compete in men's like all the other men. You know, there's a reason why men's gymnastics events are different than women's, right? There's rings, there's pommel horse, because men have greater upper body strength. They are stronger. That's why there's separate categories. You know what? You are no hero. You are pulling up the ladder for the female athletes that came after you. And since you made it personal and nasty with Riley, I'm going to say it. Why didn't you stand up for Rachel Denhollander and Jamie Dancher when they first spoke up about Nassar? They got torn to shreds. They were demonized as liars and grifters, and you said nothing. You waited. You waited until it was safe. You didn't say anything publicly until after Nassar was sentenced. You let hundreds of girls twist in the wind. Look, I don't think anyone has to come forward about abuse until they are ready. But if you're going to tear my friend Riley down for standing up for women, for their right to compete safely, then I am going to raise it. You let those women get torn apart, those other gymnasts. You could have stopped the bullying instantly with your credibility as a world champion and Olympian, but you didn't do it. You let those women get destroyed. So you may be the GOAT as a gymnast, but you are no hero. Not to me. Not anymore.
And not to girls. And not to girls. Not to girls. My girl asked me about this yesterday, and I told her exactly what's what. And she's like, ew. Like, how can she not stand up for other girls? Like, what is that? Why would she want boys to be competing against us? Why would she want that? She is not a hero to girls. She's just a sellout. She's an absolute sellout, just like Megan Rapinoe, just like Martina Navratilova, just like all the other women before her that do not care about other women. Sellout.
God, I just am so disappointed in her.
Yeah.
But one person I'm not disappointed in is Brett Baer. You guys, if you did not see this video, this is going to kick off the My Pillow Talks for today, because Brett Baer can rap. I did not see this coming. It's a little jarring when you see it.
I don't know how I feel about this one.
But you can't deny how good he is at it. That's the thing.
I mean, you can.
You
a
can't.
little. Okay.
You can't.
Okay.
He is undeniably good at it. It's just weird to see Teddy Ruxpin doing it. It's just weird. You know what I mean? It's weird, right?
Yes.
But you guys, if you haven't seen it, behold.
Hip, hip, a hop, you don't stop, a rocket to the bang, bang, boogie, so up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Scooby-Doo, that's right, America, we love you, and we rock and roll to the summer sun. We can rock to 101 years old. I don't mean to brag, I don't mean to boast, but I like on my breakfast toast. Rock it out, baby bubba to the boogity bang bang.
What is his shirt? He's got like a boat shirt on.
Come on, everybody, dance your feet. Walk on late, dark afternoon. Reporter stop his own interview.
I can't.
It's so cute, though.
I just cannot. What else is he capable of? I ask you.
Is there anything he can't do?
It's a little cringe, but I also love it. He is like Teddy Ruxpin in real life. When we met him in person, he is like a real live Teddy Ruxpin
for real,
but hairless. He's not fuzzy. He's not fuzzy
that we know of.
That's true. That's true. It's true.
We don't know what he's got going on under there. We don't know. But now we can know that he can rap, and that was something. I don't know if you guys heard about this pet zebra that escaped in Tennessee, but the video of this is crazy. So there was a runaway zebra. I guess his owner had only had him for like a day. Now, why you have a zebra, I don't know.
My God.
But the guy had him for a day when the zebra escaped, and he was seen like running on cameras all over neighborhoods. He was just like galloping through
on I-24. He's on I-24, you guys.
He was on I-24. What the hell? And so this is what it looks like when they finally brought him home.
I cannot. Oh my God. That poor zebra. I feel so bad for him.
That's kind of fun, really.
He doesn't even want to be in Tennessee. He doesn't want to be there. Oh my God. He's traumatized. I feel so bad for that
It's
animal.
like a ride. It's a ride.
It's not a ride. He's so traumatized. I'm sorry, zebra should not be flying, Mom. Oh my God.
But like, think of the story that zebra has for his friends. You know what I mean?
Like his new friends.
He was like, wee.
His new friends are like, dude, what is your problem? None of us have ever been in a helicopter. What is your deal? I think that's just so mean. You guys, it's speaking of which, yesterday I had to leave to go to my daughter's swim meet, and I was leaving and drive. This is what happens in the country. You drive down country roads and there were just two stray horses running all over the road. I had to stop and I'm like, what the hell? So I get out of the car and I'm trying to get them to come near me. They were afraid, so they ran. You have to call the police. You have to call 911 and report like horses that have run amok. And then they take your information. You have to tell them what the crossroads are. This is country life. This is what happens. And then this is what the sheriffs do around here is they pick up loose animals. So, but they don't do it in helicopters.
Zebra. Like, why would you even get that as a pet? I don't understand.
I feel.
Can you even ride it? Like, can you ride a zebra? Can you train them to like ride you?
I don't know. I don't think you should. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah,
right.
Probably not.
Right.
Here is a very interesting quiz for people who are fans of both Princess Di and George Michael, and I believe you qualify as being fans of both of those people. Same.
Yeah.
Same. So here is a really, really cool quiz for you to take to see if you can pick them out by their hair.
Oh.
Okay.
Is it Princess Diana or is it George Michael? Starting off. Who's this?
Oh my God,
the same hair.
Diana?
It is Princess Diana.
Yes.
Look at that.
George Michael.
It's hard to tell, isn't it?
George Michael.
But that's Princess Diana again. Bouffant.
George Michael for sure.
Coiffed.
George Michael.
It's the people's princess.
It's
George Michael.
Oh, okay, right. It's George Michael.
You ever notice?
I think
you never saw them in the same room together.
Princess Di?
It's Diana.
Yes.
Who's this?
George Michael.
Oh, it's George.
Yes.
What about this one? That could be Princess Diana.
No,
it's George again. This one.
That's definitely George Michael.
Could be George. Could be Diana.
I think it's George.
Yeah, no, it's George Michael. This one.
That's Diana. Diana. It's got.
Yeah. No.
It is.
Diana.
It's more feathery.
What about this one?
That's George.
It's George Michael.
Yes.
Lastly.
Diana.
Diana.
Look at me. I did pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I think I did pretty good. I used to, oh God, I loved her. Just loved her.
I love both of them. I love both of them.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what it would look like if Jesus had an ability to live stream.
Oh yeah.
Back in Jesus' days.
I love these. I just
so
love
great.
These.
This is so perfect. Here we go.
Aaron just got inside the palace. We're about to ask Pharaoh to let our people go. No idea how this is going to go, but wish us luck. Okay, we just left the meeting. We asked, he laughed, said no one's going anywhere. Anyway, the fight goes on.
Pharaoh, if you're watching this is your last chance. Let the people go, or it's going to rain, hail, frogs, whatever.
Hashtag let my people go.
He let us go, then changed his mind. Now he's sending soldiers. We're literally running to the sea right now. We just got here, sea in front, army behind, no way out. Everyone's freaking out. Let's see what God tells us to do. Guys, the sea literally opened up. I'll explain later. We're walking through now. And no, this path isn't on Google Maps.
Didn't film the parting, was busy holding the staff. But yeah, it worked. The sea split. I'm exhausted.
All right, guys, we made it. Seal's behind us, Pharaoh's not. Don't forget to like, comment, and maybe bring sandals next time. We walked a lot.
That was Moses, not Jesus. Moses.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It was Moses. There's a lot of those though. Like I saw like the David and Goliath one. There's a lot of those.
There was
They're
Mary
great.
having Jesus. I think that's the one I had stuck in my head. But there was
So
Mary and
great.
Joseph getting to the stable, and like she's like, there's like totally no openings at any hotel, and now we're gonna have to stay in a stable. It's so good. It's so good. All the ones. I mean, the Jesus ones are great. The Moses one, yeah.
Yeah, all the biblical
So
ones
good.
they're fun. They're super.
They're
fun.
hilarious.
Mhm.
I know you want I know that a cat is at some point in your future.
I just want
but
the universe to bring me one. Yes.
you know how excited dogs get when you give them a new treat or a new
Yes.
toy, and they like love you so much for it. I just need you to know that that's not true with cats.
It's not that way.
Here is a typical cat reaction to a new toy.
Look at him. His face.
He's like utter disdain.
Total disappointment in his human. Just so disappointed. I can't believe you thought I would like this.
Oh
you
my God.
whore. You total whore. Yeah.
I mean that's cats for you. They do not care.
I love
They
them.
do not care.
They're my spirit animals. I love them.
All right, we've got a couple of thank yous. One from Venmo, Teresa. I gotta get my glasses, man. You guys, my vision is getting worse. Okay,
it's
Teresa Gaines Shakan said the best comment I saw regarding Simone and Riley to Simone. Dude, you look like Carlton in a onesie.
Somebody said I saw somebody last week or this weekend say that she looks like Gary Coleman.
She kind of does.
She looks like, yeah, like what you talking about, Willis?
Kelly 1106 over at the Ball Pit Crew said, Mock, I appreciate you taking the time to make the feud timeline. Yes, the journey of Elon and Musk and Trump. I also agree both are correct, but Elon took it a bit far. Let's all just get along. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice if we could do that?
Way too. He went over. He just went over.
Penny Perdue said, and this was last Friday. She sent this right after we stopped being live. She said, Trump, Musk to bulls running in the same pasture. And then over on Locals Today, Judy Flood says, the flags the rioters are waving show where their loyalty lies. Mexico, please leave our country. We'll even give you a ticket home and $1,000. Minnesota Solar Baby says Minnesota residents are still paying for the George Floyd riots. Great example of the innocent being punished for the guilty.
Do we want to give him $1,000? I don't know if we want to give him $1,000.
I don't really
Let's
wanna
just
do that, but
let's
if
just
that's
give
what
him,
it takes.
Maybe just give him like a $10 gift card.
Here's a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Right. You're done. Bye. That'll give you some caffeine to go back from whence you came.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you.
Brian Brumley, is the DSM for TDS 297.4547 F22?
I don't know anything. I don't know any of that. I don't know what you just said.
I feel like that the TDS should be it should be observed as a condition at this point. It should be.
For
And then-
sure.
yes, without question. Marcus Drake, my unit was called up for the King riots in 92. What's going on right now? Make those riots look like a schoolyard spat. This is a war, people. I agree, Marcus. Yes. Gosh, we all remember those from 92. Team Media and Publishing. Rita Panahi on Sky News calls Greta T Doom Goblin.
That's awesome. Doom Goblin. Oh my God. That's
Judy
fantastic.
Flackney. I should wear a tape over their name badge with Garcia 1 or 2 or 3 and on so they blend in. LOL. It's a good tactic. Paula Johnson. Happy birthday to my hubby John, who is 71 today. Happy birthday, John. Inger Denny, yay, today's my 7th wedding anniversary. By the way, loved your interview on Saturday. I'm a big Caitlin Clark Fever fan.
Oh, that's right. If you haven't caught our Michelle Tafoya interview, that is out.
Yeah, it's good.
You should watch that
on
for
Saturday.
Sure.
Judy I'm sorry to find my place. Judy Flackney, Maxine, using those innocents for her agenda. Yep, always. Never waste a tragedy, right? Marcus Drake, if we let LA, California fall, it will only empower people in other cities to do the same, and it will only get worse. We can't allow it to happen. I think it's already happening. I mean, it's already, that place is already a crap hole. It's already really on its way. Jennifer No, checking news before I go back into my cryogenic chamber. Ignorance is truly bliss, and I am ceasing it. We are going to try coat defense on my hair because of the shingles. Oh, I'm not joking. I will give a testimonial soon. You should do that.
Interesting.
Jen. Very interesting.
She says, Jenny.
Raymond Cromley, around 3 a.m. last night, I turned 74. No internet. Okay. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Curio 23. Elon got a firsthand look at the corruption in DC and left disillusioned and angry. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Curio 23. Yep. Patrick Vance, thank you for that super sticker. Steven Zaluk, music studio, composer. Thank you for that super sticker. Patrick Vance, regarding the reactions of both Cash and JD, seems likely the adults are in charge now, not going to participate in any drama. I think that is correct. Absolutely. Ronald Goldston, Simone couldn't beat a male in a pissing contest.
Facts.
That is true. Jose Rodriguez, morning from Texas, y'all. Simone's verbal gymnastics must have been exhausting. She totally botched the landing. Just take my money. And I don't think she said anything since. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I don't think so.
She has, I mean, she's just being completely just destroyed on social media.
Well, I saw people going after, I don't even remember, is it Athleta? There's some athletic, is it that's the brand that she endorses? I can't remember. So. But people were going after them and saying why are you take her out of your lineup because she's awful and she doesn't
anybody who's her sponsor should be shaking at this point. Because why would you do that? Why would you let her be a part of that? She is in trouble. You guys.
Yep.
It's Monday. Bring it in. Bring it in, everybody.
It was a long show today.
It was a long show. You guys have a wonderful Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.